I will never forget the moment that I knew I had to try something different when it came to money. I was holding my 2-year-old son in my arms as a newly single mom, knowing full well I had a stack of bills I couldn't afford to pay. I looked right in his face and I said, I have no idea how I'm going to support us. And that moment, it cracked something open in me. And it wasn't fear, it was some sort of fire. And for the last 15 years, I have been on a mission to understand why so many women, smart, capable women, still feel stuck financially. So I went back to school to study commerce at the University of Toronto. I became a financial analyst. I earned the CFA designation. I studied behavioral finance and economics. I trained in design thinking. But what I've really been doing is unraveling these invisible threads that keep women playing small. And what are those threads? They're the guilt, the survival patterns, the belief that it's too complicated for them and that wealth is for, I don't know, somebody else. And the more I studied, the more I realized we have been solving the wrong problem. It's not that women aren't smart with money, it's that we've been taught a version of wealth that was never designed for us. So here's the first truth about building real, sustainable wealth. Number one, money is never, ever just about money. It's not about math, it's not about spreadsheets, it's not about picking stocks, it's not market timing or needing some sort of finance degree. I am completely confident that I can teach you in about 20 seconds how to be a successful investor. Ready? Let's do it. Here it is. Open up the registered accounts, buy 3 broad market ETFs, don't listen to the news, and do that for 30 years. I think that was about 10 seconds actually, right? It's literally that simple. So the question then becomes, why aren't we doing it? Because being successful in finance is about making reasonably smart decisions over a long period of time. And we are people. We are beautiful, flawed people who base decisions on emotion, on identity, and on what we think we're allowed to have or who we're supposed to be. If you as a woman have been taught that you need to sacrifice everything for your family, or that needing help means you failing, or that you should be grateful for whatever crumbs life or a man throws your way, then no amount of budgeting is going to fix the real problem. Before we even look at the accounts, we need to look at the story. I remember speaking with a beautiful, beautiful woman. When I asked her what she really wanted, she said she wanted to have enough to pay the bills. And then when I asked her what her biggest problem was, she told me that she was always just barely making ends meet. She was literally getting exactly what she was asking for. This isn't a math problem, it's a container problem. Her nervous system was wired for just enough. That was the level of receiving she believed that was safe because it's all that she knew. So we worked on expanding that container, getting her used to the idea of overflow, of having more than enough. Not so she could hoard it, but so that she could share it, so that she could finally breathe and build something for her family. Trust me, I've lived it, which is why I study this stuff. For me, about 6 years, I was used to receiving a certain amount of money in my bank account every month. And no matter what happened, I'd always end up right around that number. Even when I lost one contract, another one would just appear to fill the gap. It wasn't the world, it wasn't the job, it was my internal set point. So I started working on the belief that I could receive 3 times what I was used to. It felt super uncomfortable, it felt strange, almost like I was doing something dishonest by asking for what I was worth. But eventually, with a little bit of effort, my outer world caught up to my new inner baseline, the one I decided I was worth. This is real work, ladies, expanding your capacity to receive. Ask yourself this: what amount of money feels normal for you to receive in a month? And then, what would it feel like to receive double that, triple that? Does it feel unsafe? Does it feel unfamiliar, undeserved even? Do you start saying things like, oh, who am I to want this amount? It's greedy. Just notice it. Because until you stretch what you believe is possible, you'll keep living inside the financial equivalent of a 1-bedroom apartment wondering why there's no space. So let's go to truth number 2. Guilt and shame block wealth. And this one runs so deep for me personally. When my relationship broke down, I did feel anger. But even more, I felt that if only I was smarter, if only I was prettier, more perfect, this wouldn't have happened to me and my son. And that single thought drove years of over-functioning, trying to prove I was good enough, safe enough, and smart enough. But the problem with perfection as a strategy is that it doesn't lead to freedom. It leads to guilt. And guilt keeps us broke. Because when you constantly feel like you're failing, you don't trust yourself, and you don't trust yourself with money. You don't believe that you deserve overflow, and you start to sabotage the very things you say that you want. I know, because I spent years doing it. Here are two of the most common ways I've seen guilt and shame show up in our community. The first one is the shame of a failed relationship. Think about it. As women, we've been conditioned to believe that a family looks a certain way. And when it doesn't for us, we believe that we failed. That the one thing we were supposed to do, which was just hold our families together, we couldn't do. So we see everything through that lens of guilt. So when opportunities appear, we literally can't see them. Think about this. I love this story. If we grew up in a household that taught us that doors only come in one color, let's say red, we walk through life looking for red doors, a specific version of family, of womanhood, of success we were taught to recognize and then walk through because that's red. But the truth is that some of the most beautiful doors are blue or yellow or glass or even a window. But because in our reality doors are red, women are married, they have 2 kids and a dog, make a lot of money, look like supermodels and drink matcha, we missed the other doors. And with that, the opportunity to walk through them. And then we just stop looking. We give up. Can you see that when we don't grow up believing wealth is our birthright, or that we are somehow damaged because we failed to live up to the impossible expectations of society or our family, we don't make the decisions required to build our portfolios? What's the point? We're just going to screw it up, right? How about no? Let's try that one on. The other way I see guilt and shame show up is through the shame of spending. I've seen women feel ashamed every single time they buy something. But just like eating is a requirement for a healthy life, spending is a part of investing. You spend on books, on courses, on food, on experiences. These are investments in your well-being. If I said, let's eat only meat for the rest of your life, how long do you think that'll last? My goal is to inspire you to love finance, not view it as something horrible or punitive. Remember, smart decisions performed consistently over a long period of time. The goal isn't perfection here, it's sustainability. When you're able to channel your spending, when you open the accounts, buy the ETFs, take care of your future, you have nothing to feel bad about. I have literally told members with a fear of spending to go get the massage because they could afford it, to buy the flowers for their home, and then every time they walk by them, to remind themselves of what they're building. So, guilt is yesterday. We did nothing wrong. We are just stepping out of the box someone else put us in. I want you to think about these questions carefully. When was the first time you remember feeling shame around money? Where in your life are you holding back because you believe you actually don't deserve more? What's a desire you've suppressed because it felt selfish to ask for? Practice saying it out loud. Write it down. Ask for it. You are not wrong for wanting more. Your wanting more is a function of that thing begging to be expressed through you. And now for the last truth, and that's that simplicity builds real wealth. One of the biggest lies the financial world tells us is that you need to have a sophisticated understanding of math and need to speak Greek letter to play alpha, beta, delta, gamma, volatility, Sharpe ratios, Sortino ratios, butterfly spreads, duration. And when you have no clue what these things mean, you assume that you're not smart enough and that the person who is, well, they'll take your money. So what are your options? Yes, pun totally intended. You either check out completely or you hand over your power. The wealth we see in the movies is not our game. Our game is not stock picking. Our game is not timing the market. It's not spending your weekends reading financial reports. Who wants to do that? Our game is about as exciting as watching water boil. And that's the point. Because the game isn't to win big overnight. It's to let time and consistency do the heavy lifting while you go live your life. The actual tools, honestly, most of them you learned in 4th grade. Compounding, which is letting your money make money. Diversification, think not putting all your eggs in one basket. And then automation, letting it happen whether you're paying attention or not. That's it. Everything else is noise. So what do? Understand that you don't need to be a genius. You just have to stop quitting. You build the system once, you let it run, you buy the coffee, you let your money grow, and then your energy gets to focus on what actually matters, your family, your life, and why you were put here. So let's bring it home. You've made it this far, so you already know this. You are a woman who knows money is emotional and energetic. You are willing to heal what's held you back. You crave simplicity and agency. And you know that building wealth isn't just for you, but for your family and the generations that come after. Be the one who breaks the cycle. Every wealthy family had the one who decided to do things differently. Be that one for yours. You don't need permission. You don't need permission from the banks or from your ex or from the version of you who played small to stay safe. You just need one thing, and that is a moment of decision. So stop chasing perfect. Release the shame, build a system, open the damn account, and build a beautiful portfolio. And the rest, we'll figure it out together. Welcome to the moment you became self-invested. Your life and legacy, I promise you, will never be the same.